Hello and welcome back. I'm Courtney Gallster, the founder and president of Amplify Marketing, and I am here to talk to you about the same conversation I keep having with our clients. And I know this is one you've been waiting for, even if you don't know that you've been waiting for it. Today, we're going to chat about the marketing hacks you can use right now to get through the holidays and also make sure that all of your 2025 planning gets done. So we've spent a lot of time this year working towards consistent marketing, making sure that we are staying visible, building momentum, all of these different tools that we've been working to create a marketing engine with have been essential to your year or are essential to setting you up well for 2025. The problem that a lot of people run into at this time of year is that marketing is the first thing that falls off of their plate when they get busy. And a lot of the industries that we work in, which are professional services, financial services, community banking, and health tech, get very busy at the end of the year with the last rush of closing out business, with year-end planning, and all of those things that go with those different things that happen when you work with businesses or when you are working to meet your sales goals for the year. The problem that happens is that if you lose momentum with your marketing now, it's going to take you 90 days, which is the entirety of quarter 1, to get back on track. And that means that you're going to be behind starting the new year before it even starts. So we definitely want to make sure that we're putting the right pieces in place now to keep that consistency going, even when things get hectic and we have to split our focus from the things that we've been diligently working on and the things that absolutely have to happen before the end of the year. So I'm going to give you the tools right now to, number 1, keep your marketing machine moving, even if you can't be hands-on through the end of the year. And I'm going to tell you what's coming next so that you can be prepared for 2025. I'm going to grab a drink of coffee and we're going to dive in. All right. So the first thing that we need to think about is how can we get ahead with content right now? And before we even dive into what that looks like on a tactical level, we want to think about what we want to be sharing with our audience at this time of year, because the market is saturated with messaging. We aren't looking to disrupt the market. We're just looking to stay seen. So I want you to take some time and make a list of all of the holiday promo that you need to do. So that could be events in your community. It could be events at your location. It could be special gift cards that you're giving away. It could be special promotions that you have on products or services that you offer. It could be specific holidays that you want to feature on your feed. I want you to think about the types of special activities that your team does at this time of year. We have a client that's a community bank in northern Minnesota, and they have a really fun community Elf on the Shelf giveaway that they do, where they take their Elf on the Shelf out to all of these cool locations around town. They have all of their followers on social media guess where the Elf on the Shelf is, and then they do a random drawing every day for a gift card that's given away to someone who voted. Because they just like to build cheer. It's super fun. It's super cute, but it's also building rapport with the community. And that's something that can be planned out. That's a 14-day, the 14 days of Christmas. So we plan that out in advance, and that's really easy to pre-schedule. So if you have things like that, make sure that you write that down and make a note about how many posts or how much content you're going to need for that particular promotion. Think about the types of nonprofit involvement that you might have at this time of year. Like, you may be donating to Toys for Tots. You may be going out to participate in activities with different nonprofits in your area. Make sure that you take account of all of those things and put them on your list of things you need to include in your content. You may have team outings. A lot of the companies that we work with take their teams out for lunch, or they take them out for a fun activity. Those are important to put on your calendar. And then you need to make note of your holiday closures. So people want to know when you're closed for the holidays. It's important that you include this in your emails and in your social media. So put that on your list. And then the last thing, once you kind of get a scope of all of this holiday content that you're going to be pushing out there, is you need to think about, and this may involve bringing in a couple of other members of your team. You need to think about what people actually want to know from you right now. So for a CPA firm, that might be year-end planning information. For a bank, it might be more around creating a holiday budget. For a health tech company, it might be that we don't have anything that's really holiday or year end specific unless we're running some kind of end of the year deal where you don't have implementation fees if you sign a contract before December 31st. There's lots of different things that you or your team may want to share um, at this time of year. Make sure it's something that your audience is going to resonate with. We don't want to be sharing content just for the sake of posting content. So really think through what's relevant, what's important, and what people are going to engage with. People are always going to engage more with your people content. So this is a great time of year to really take advantage of the fact that you have more of these team building activities or outside activities happening or events at your location happening, that you can really start to beef up your social media presence using that instead of the traditional promotional materials that maybe you've been using a lot for the last couple of months. So once you have this list, you need to prioritize your list. How much content are you pushing out every week? What do you have space for? What's going to go out on social media? What's going to go out on email? So let's kind of drill that down tactic by tactic. Let's start with your social media. Last month, I shared with you a really easy way to plan out your content in advance, and I gave you a template to do this, which I'm going to link below. Use that strategy to plan out your content through the first week of January. So we're not even going to stop at the end of the holiday season. We're actually going to push forward a little bit. And what this does is it gives you a little bit of a buffer when you're back in the office. If you're like us, you may be shut down between the week of Christmas and New Year's and you're not really working on some of these things. It gives you a little bit of a buffer once you're back in front of your computer to pull together the next batch of content so that you don't have to have everything ready to go the moment you sit down on January 2nd. Once you have that calendar built out for the upcoming however many weeks through that first week of January, you can start taking all of these different topics and popping them in where they make sense, which is going to help you really assess how much extra content you actually need and what you need to make sure you get from other people. Because if you are sharing from a volunteering event, you're obviously going to want photos from that volunteering event. So you're going to want to make sure that you hold place for that, but know that you're not going to have that post ready to schedule, and you're going to need to reach out to someone to get those photos during that time. You are going to do as much planning in advance as you can. So create as much content as you can now, go through the proper approval process, and get it scheduled. If you can't schedule it now, because again, you're dependent on someone else to get you the photos from an event, make sure you put it on your calendar and on their calendar that you need photos this day from this event. Send them a reminder email the day before. Maybe put that on your calendar too so that you don't forget, to make sure that you actually get that content, because it is very common for people to forget to take photos at these events that we really want to feature within our marketing. So that's step one. Get your social media. Well, step one is to create your list. Step two is to get your social media done and get your social media scheduled through the first week of January. The next step is going to be to get all of your emails planned out in advance. So if you send a weekly newsletter, let's go look at our social media calendar, because again, if you took my newsletter training last month, which I will link also in the comments, you know that we're using our social media content to populate our newsletter. So let's use that calendar that we just created to start pre-populating our emails. Whether you send those weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, if you do something different with your content, that's fine. But let's get those populated and scheduled so that it's not sitting on your to-do list and you're chasing your tail trying to get it done when you get busy. You can still go in and edit these. So let's say you really want to make sure to include a training that, or some of these photos that you're getting from these events that you have going on, and you want to include those. You can go back in, unschedule it, edit the email, and add that photo in. But you also know that if you don't make it in time, that email is still going to go out as scheduled and your audience is still going to see it. So you're not going to lose momentum because you got busy and didn't get this scheduled because you were waiting on content. You know, you can just unschedule and edit next week's email or the next email that's going out and add that content in there. So it gives you a little bit of a buffer. And yes, it does mean that some of this more on-demand or time-sensitive content will go out a little bit later than expected, or could go out a little bit later than expected. But you also aren't then relying on that content to get your marketing out, which can screw up your whole process. So that is step number 3. Schedule all your emails. Get them planned out, built out, scheduled, and go back and unschedule and edit them if you need to before they go out. The fourth thing, videos. Videos are such a huge part of our clients' marketing strategies. And the problem that happens around the holidays is people take a lot of time off and people go out of town. And a lot of times, actually, in the health tech world that we work in, a lot of people go out of the country around the holidays. So we want to make sure that we're getting those videos recorded early. And that gives us plenty of time to work on editing them, but to know that they're in that repository, we can work on them and we can do them on our own time instead of relying on someone else to show up or not show up because they get wrapped up and get behind before they go out of town. Then we're not relying on that. So make sure you record those early, get those on people's calendars. Even if you spend a full week in November just working with people to record videos, knowing that you're not going to record any in December, at least you have them done and you're not scrambling for something else to share or losing momentum because now you don't have a video to share in December. The same thing with blog content. You should get all of your blog content done through the end of the year. A lot of our clients, probably 50% of our clients, have regular blog content going out. And I would recommend, if you are someone that falls into that category of having regular blog content, you don't want to lose that momentum because it's like starting from scratch when you get off schedule. So make sure you get that done and scheduled through the end of the year. And that's going to help you just keep that consistency. That keeps you visible, that keeps you on Google's radar, that keeps you on your LinkedIn radar, all of those things. Just make sure you get that blog content scheduled through the end of the year. Those are the 5 things that I recommend. That is part of our foundational marketing strategy. It's social media, email, videos, and blog content. So that's why I highlighted those particular things, because if you keep those things going foundationally, most people are not going to notice anything else that you miss. So if you are a company that usually puts out a monthly webinar and you don't host one in December, having all of this other content going out on your behalf means that you're not going to lose momentum because you didn't have that webinar. That webinar is a nice to have. It's not part of your core strategy. Just making sure that the core things are going to consistently go out like they have been for the rest of the year is where you're going to thrive. So this is going to guarantee consistency. This is going to guarantee that your momentum doesn't drop. So you're not starting over when you get back in the office in January, but it also is going to free you up to start working on 2025 planning. And so I'm going to be sharing a lot of information about 2025 planning, creating your marketing plan for 2025, how to choose the right tactics, all of those things. But if you want to get a head start, because you've already done all of these things, you've already planned your social media content, you've done your emails, you've done your videos, you've done your blogs, then here is what you should be working on next. The first list, I have 3 lists that I want you to make. The first list is thinking back and looking at your metrics from 2024 and identifying what went really well. What are the things that you would want to do more of? That is one list that you're going to make. The second list that you're going to make is, what do I want to do but didn't have time to do in 2024? So what are those marketing add-ons that you would love to do, or that you've seen competitors do, or you've seen your partner companies do, that you want to do for your own company but have not had the bandwidth to implement? And then the third list that you want to make is, what can I cut from my sales and marketing program? What are some of the tactics that we've been doing that just aren't creating enough ROI for us? Or maybe we don't know what the ROI is and we need to do a deeper dive on that, and we would potentially cut this if it wasn't creating enough of a return for us. Those are the 3 lists that we're going to use in the next couple of weeks to build your 2025 marketing plan, to assess your bandwidth, to do all of the things that are going to set you up for success in 2025. So if you've already done all of this planning for the end of 2024, or if you finish this up in the next week, these are the 3 lists that you want to focus on creating. I hope this was helpful for you guys today. If you have questions, as always, reach out. I am here to answer your questions. My team is here to answer your questions, and we would love to support you. Our contact information is in the notes, and I will see you next time. Did you know we offer a free digital marketing portal where you can access exclusive trainings live events, and more every single month. Just click the link in the description of this video for access. It is completely free. We have all kinds of things that you are going to love that are going to help you build your business, create more cohesion between marketing and sales, create consistency in your marketing, and give you free tools and resources that help you do it all without needing a full-time marketing person. I hope to see you there.